So I can get you to hit your driver further, and the best thing is that you don't need to swing it any faster. So like I said, I can get you to hit your driver further and you don't have to add speed to the swing, which is what we all want. We all want to swing it faster, we all want to hit it further, and we talk a lot on this channel about, driver speeds, driver distances, and this is about making you the most efficient that you can be. Okay, so there's a relationship between the angle of attack and the dynamic loft of the golf club. And getting those two angles as close as possible is going to maximise your potential distance and make you the most efficient that you can be. And this applies to all golfers. Okay, so it doesn't matter your level of golf or anything like that. It applies to everybody that as soon as you can get those two matched up, that's what's going to make you efficient. That's what's going to make you hit the ball the furthest that you can on any given swing speed. So whether you're 120 or 60 miles an hour, it really wouldn't matter. You can be the most efficient that you can be if you can get your launch dynamics as close as possible. Okay, so it's that angle. Now, it's called spin loft. Okay, so and the easiest way to describe it is that when you hit those really bad drives and you strike down on it, so if you're a person that occasionally takes a divot with a driver, that's what I'm talking about. So then you're going to have a negative angle of attack. So as you swing through, club comes down, hits into the ground, you hit down on the ball, but the ball launches off at a really high angle. So that's your high dynamic loft or high launch angle, whatever. That's the drive that has loads and loads of spin on it, very high launch angle, it doesn't go anywhere as a result. What you want to do is get your launch angle and your dynamic loft as close as possible, and then that's going to make you the most efficient that you can be. When you do that, you're going to hit the ball the furthest. Now, the lower the loft of the driver, the easier it is to do that, but there's a trade-off, and I'm not saying that all golfers should go for low lofty drivers. You've got to use the driver that's most efficient for you, so you could be using a 10.5 or a 12 degree driver if that works. But if you're a stronger golfer, you're going to go for the lower loft. That's where the additional distance comes from. So I know that if I hit a 12 degree driver and a 9 degree driver, the 9 degree driver will always go further, because those angles that I'm talking about will have to be closer together. So the launch angle or the dynamic loft of the golf club will always be closer to the angle of attack on the 9 degree driver as opposed to a 12 degree driver, and that's going to make it go further regardless of anything else that I do. Understanding that, really important for getting the most out of your drives. Now, what we all know that we want to avoid that steep angle of attack, hit down, because that's the negative one. That's the one that's going to spin a lot and just not go very far. But also, you don't want to be a person that stands there and swings and sits too much on their back foot with a very, very high angle of attack, because again, that's still going to give you a high dynamic loft, and then that's going to lose distance. So, if you're standing there hitting your driver and getting 18, 19 degree launch angles and stuff like that, if you've got, an 80, 90, 100 mile an hour swing, you're losing distance because it's not optimal. So you've still got to make sure that it's about striking the balance between the two. So yes, you want to keep your weight behind the ball, but you don't want to be right on the back foot hitting it like that, because as it comes in, you're going to have a very high dynamic loft and then not hit the ball so far. So you need to get on there and work on that. Now, the easiest way to do that is to get on a machine like this. So you need to get on a launch monitor and measure your spin rates. Know what your optimal spin rates are. If you're not sure, ask a PGA pro. Say to them, this is my measured swing speed. What should I be spinning the ball at? What am I aiming for to get the most out of it? And if you can get on the TrackMan, something like that, and get those sort of launch angles and a bit more club data as well, makes it so much easier. So it's, you're standing there swinging. What you want to be is making sure that you're matching them up so that you're getting the launch angle and the dynamic loft as close as possible to be able to get the most out of it. So we don't want to be, this being a 9 degree driver, swinging, getting like that, where I'm getting steep into it and then low launch angles found the middle of the club, but just too low, and it's not going to get airball. You're trying to make sure that your angle of attack and then your dynamic loft of the golf club are optimal to be able to get the most out of the drive. I know that I want to aim for a roughly 14 to 15 degree launch angle, and I know that I want to spin it around 2,000 to 2,500 revolutions per minute. So a swing like that, you can see there that I'm getting 96 mile an hour swing speed, so not the quickest, but 2,200 spin rates. I know it's coming out in the middle, launching at about 14 degrees, so I'm getting that nice flat flight. That's me making that swing as near as optimal as I can to get as much out of it as possible. Launch dynamics extremely important, and working on that, understanding the relationship between angle attack and dynamic loft of the golf club to get the ball out there as easy as possible. That's going to make you more efficient, that's going to make you more consistent, and that's going to make you drive the ball further. But if you like that video and you want to learn about a bit of side bend in your golf swing, make sure that you check that one out.